All right, welcome back to Esoteric Om. It is Tuesday, I believe it's the 11th of June. I hope you have been doing well. I hope life is treating you wonderfully and everything that you want is working its way quickly and steadily towards you. So tonight I wanted to hop on and talk about an author that I have not really mentioned previously. I haven't done a book review or a recommendation, and whenever I try and do these videos, I'm trying to put them out in a certain order as if I was teaching or sharing more likely my experience, and kind of in a certain order, kind of order of importance, trying to put it together so it fits. And so tonight I'm going to be talking about a book that is really a collection of short stories mostly. The book is called Low Magick. It's all in your head. You just don't know how big your head is. You have no idea how big your head is. It's all in your head. You just have no idea how big your head is. It is by Lon Milo DuQuette. Now, Lon Milo DuQuette is a pretty famous occult author. He has written extensively on the tarot, on Kabbalah, on Enochian, on Goetic, Solomonic magic. So he's been around for a while. I believe he's in his 70s. And he has a really, really wonderful sense of humor, a really laid back, practical approach to magic. I mean, this guy is a practicing magician. He has been doing it for a long time. He studied a lot of Aleister Crowley. He's a Thelemite. And if you ever get a chance to look up some of his videos on YouTube, he puts out a daily, short YouTube blurb, and he's just a friendly, you can tell he's innocent, very pure, very, very good soul. So Lon Milo DuQuette, and the book is called Low Magick. He does do Enochian. You can see, you can see a couple different things on here, including a demon. And excuse me, I have not really talked too much about demons, and that's for a particular reason. They are, they're very powerful. They are something that a lot of people have a lot of negative programming about, including myself. When I initially started this, I did not want to go anywhere near them, thought they were evil from the devil. And he's got a very interesting take on it. And he does a wonderful, wonderful job of kind of disarming your fears about the topic, and how, in his view, it's primarily lower aspects of yourself, lower. These entities are not so much like an external force, but they're really aspects of your own personality that have been repressed, suppressed. And he talks about the importance of getting to know them and commanding them so they don't run havoc through your life, so they don't control you. Getting a hold of your vices, getting a hold of your obsessive thoughts, and how really the demon is the problem. And until you kind of address it in his advice is in a ritual setting where you're commanding it, giving it new marching orders, it will continue to operate underneath the surface, underneath perception, kind of doing what it wants. And the demon really is the problem. So personifying it into an entity that you can now change your relationship to, give it new marching orders, say, I am in command. You do not run me. I am giving you new orders. It's just very, very powerful. And also, a lot of the books that I've kind of reviewed so far are really workable systems. There's been a couple that have had some really good meat on the bones. A lot of the gallery magic stuff is very, very powerful, but they typically don't give you too much background or theory. They really just give you workable rituals. And for this one, there is a lot of magical theory and a lot of wisdom, and he does it in short stories, and I think there's something so powerful about this short story format. We gain so much insight seeing how he does certain things, aspects of his life, his thought process, how he sets up rituals. So I highly recommend this. He's got a ton of books out there. This is the one where I started, really, and he's got some wonderful, wonderful situations that he kind of shows you, hey, this is what I was going through, this is what I did. He is definitely, more maybe a traditional magician, but he also intuitively adjusts certain things and adds personal things and leaves things out. So he's very, very big on doing what works. So he, one of the first things he talks about is fear, and as you can see on the back, it says, "Do not be afraid." And he goes into, really kind of talking about what fear is and how not to let it run your life. And very, very, very powerful, because when we're embarking on this path, or already, down this path of certain ways, fear is, the mind killer, like they say in Dune. So it's really, really good reframe on fear. He talks a little bit about why it's called low magic as opposed to high magic, and that low magic is typically for things that you want, for maybe lower desires, as opposed to enlightenment and union with divinity. But he really does say, hey, these two things are really, really the same, one and the same. So as above, so below. We know that from the Hermetic philosophy. He goes into some really cool things about Solomonic magic and the formula, why he approaches it that way, really breaks it down. So like the Goetia is something that I definitely recommend you research and do your own practice before you get involved in it, because as he says, calling forth these forces in yourself, these aspects of yourself, if you don't handle them correctly, they can get out of control and cause havoc. And so he goes through a really, really good formula for really commanding and reordering these aspects of your personality, of yourself, of what we call demons. Let's see here, it talks about law of attraction, charging talismans, kind of his process. He really goes through some wonderful stories about astral projection, about when he removed a curse, as well as kind of like some love spell type stuff. And yeah, he's really goes through about his tarot deck that he has, how he charged it, and just amazing. Talks about invoking, evoking, just some really powerful short stories that really do give you some good techniques, and like the Ganesha banishing and invoking that he does, that he just kind of invented and came up with, super powerful. He also has charts like for correspondences, stuff like that, kind of how everything lines up. I mean, super valuable to have in your library. Talking about the months and the zodiac and tarot and the angels, and the different forces that are all showing you how they all connect, how they're all corresponding. He goes through some pretty cool stuff, some pretty cool rituals, kind of shows you what he does. He definitely has, like I said, a traditional background, but he's so creative. He's so creative, and he's got a wonderful sense of humor. So he really does disarm a lot of your fear when you're starting on this path, and it's so helpful to kind of see how somebody else does it. Just see kind of what he wants, and how things maybe didn't go the way that he planned, but worked out exactly as they should. So yeah, highly recommend this. Low Magic. It's all in your head. You just don't have no idea how big your head is, which is very, very wise in general. I definitely recommend getting it, because when we're going through these practical rituals that kind of, we sometimes we understand what's going on. Sometimes we just trust and have faith and just expect the magic to work, just assume that it will, which it does. But seeing an accomplished occultist, a magician who really has a good understanding of what's going on, the fundamentals, the basics, is also able to inject a good deal of his personality into it. Takes himself with a grain of salt. Highly recommend it. It will remove a lot of your fear. It will give you some good feedback, some very, very good concepts, show you how you can adjust things, why people do certain things in the rituals. So definitely check it out. I think it's a good addition. It's a good addition to your library, and he's a wonderful author. He's been around for a while. So I just wanted to hop on, give you another book recommendation. I think especially if you're someone who's doing practical ritual after practical ritual after practical ritual, it's good to kind of ease up on that and get into a story. And sometimes things can be conveyed so masterful in a story, that you really get what's going on and why you're doing the rituals, and you can kind of see yourself with what he's going through, what he's been through. So Lon Milo DuQuette, definitely worth checking out. He's got a ton of books. He's obviously a master at a lot of stuff, has so much knowledge and wisdom. This is the one that I started with because really, really love the topics, the short story, and I think you'll enjoy it. So until next time, hope you're doing well. Hope you continue to get whatever it is you want, and I look forward to talking to you soon.